We have suspended learning in all our education institutions with immediate effect.
The Education Ministry has suspended all activities within learning institutions with immediate effect. In a move to contain the spread of the virus, the ministry has equally suspended non-essential travels that include school trips.
The information that I have about COVID-19 virus, it's an infection that spreads or affects the respiratory organs. It has affected the children that I teach socially, economically, and mentally.
COVID has affected education drastically. Now everything is online, Zoom meetings, online classes, on DSTV and other KBC, and we are just wondering how much we can achieve, especially for our learners with disabilities.
COVID-19 tangu ingie imetuaffect kabisa, kwanza mimi kama mzazi wa mtoto mlemavu. Tukiwa naye nyumbani kuna vitu ana miss zenye alikuwa anapata shule.
The measures that we have taken as teachers is involving parents by coming to our school and taking handouts. So once the parent takes that, you find that with the guideline of the teacher, through WhatsApp group and even calling the parent, the teacher is going to follow by giving instruction to the parent that this child should do this and this up to this point. Once that is done, now you can hand over now the material to the school, and then now from there the teacher can take it and examine what the child has done. Even though it is difficult to some other parents reaching them, but let's say 70% we have reached them through that platform.
Well, namfundisha kwa nyumba vitu za shule.
KICD, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, has tried with the KBC radio lessons and the Edu channels on DSTV and other service providers. But you and I know that there are learners who are missing out. There are learners out there who don't have those devices in their houses, and there are those maybe who have the devices but maybe subscription or network. But what about this parent who cannot install Wi-Fi or afford bundles, because that is those are daily programs. And I want to say that as much as we have tried to give that provision, there could be a number of regular learners or mainstream learners who may not access. And so the question is, what about those with disabilities? For those that are who have mild conditions like intellectual disabilities, those who have physical disabilities, those who have visual disabilities may access through audio and through visual. But there's a big gap when it comes to learners with hearing impairment because of the component of sign language. Because if the classes are being shot live, then we need interpretation. You see, like learners with severe intellectual disabilities, it is one-on-one instruction. Those who are deaf-blind, it is one-on-one. So academic online provisions will not work. But we are in discussion with colleagues and other SAGAs, government agencies, to see what can be done just in case this situation continues.
Somesha app, it was just developed to bridge that gap between the teachers and the learners. So through this app, we formed the app so that any person who wants to get information more so related with the disability, you just key in, you write any question you feel like you need to know about any disability. Then as professionals and the teachers, we are always ready to respond to those questions. And eventually we will keep you with the information you want and the knowledge that is being needed when handling children with disability.
Marin amemiss vitu. Kuna vitu anafanyiwa shule. Sinajua hizo therapy za shule. Sasa tunakaa kwa slums, na hizo nyumba zetu ndogo. Sasa siwezi kuwa na hizo materials zenye wako nazo shule. Unajua huko at least wanachezeshwa kwa at least uzungishe tile ndio inyoroshe mikono. At least watembee kwa hizo sijui zinaitwangaje hizo wanatembeza wakishika. hapo kwetu hatuna, cause ni slum area, utaiweka wapi mtoto atembee? Sasa imemrudisha nyuma, yenyewe amerudi nyuma.
COVID-19 has affected my life because I'm not able to run my daily activities, day-to-day activities, which means I'm not able to attend to children as usual. I'm not able to facilitate workshop and trainings as usual. I do the short videos for the parents, but we still have a challenge for the parents because most of our parents, most of them, they don't have the smartphones. Since through our workshops, we used to train them the how to do the home program. So I still have a phone that I respond to all questions from the parents, and even at least every day I call 5 parents to just see and to remind them a few things concerning with the COVID and also how therapy is supposed to be done. Since we've been training them, what we are now doing, we just keep on to insist on the same through the making phone calls and even maybe rapid response to our hotline, which is always on, always. So we just keep on looking on what they are doing basically on the home program and even giving them some basics that they can make it to manage their children. How best we can be supported as a rehabilitation team, we do still at the government, if they are able to give us, even if we can get the protective gears, it will be able to help us to see even with one child in a day, or even to make us get accessibility to those areas.
Maybe the way forward that we can incorporate them to this is by at least having some form of gadgets, if it is possible, so that at least they can access this online learning. And if not, we can issue the learning materials to them personally and at least following what they are doing, so that at least they can not be left behind. It's to the government and other stakeholders to come in and assist the children with their disabilities, because find that these children, they are really languishing because of this pandemic, and even their parents, because they cannot even afford a meal to have on the table. And you find that the school was just like a home for them to come and have that meal and feel free at the school. So when we have this kind of support to them, it will really help them to achieve their goals.
It's the responsibility of the government to provide education to learners with disabilities, just as we provide for those without disabilities. Discussions are ongoing on how to make sure that a larger population accesses, except where we have challenges of connectivity, like in marginalized areas. But it is our prayer that our leaders, I know, are communicating and a solution may come up. And this is not just government per se. You know, education can only be achieved through collaboration with relevant and willing stakeholders. So I would call out stakeholders, if they have anything that they can maybe broadcast in a given area, the children are idle at home, if they can just improve on the signals or even just dish out content, simple content that the learners can access, or even organize for those with disabilities to access, maybe through the assessment officers, curriculum support officers and others, then that would be good. But there are many challenges attached to this. One, it will need going out there, so safety will be compromised unless very well protected. So it's a challenge, but let's hope for the best. I think things are going to be okay.